All right, let's dive in. Today we're going to talk about one of the oldest tricks in the book for treating pain, and how some really cool new tech is completely turning it on its head.
If you've ever had a sore muscle or a sprained ankle, what's the first thing you do? You grab a hot pack or an ice pack, right? It's what we all do. They're tried and true. But here's a thought. What if using just one or the other is actually slowing down your recovery?
Okay, so let's just break it down real quick. You've got heat, right? Heat is awesome for relaxing tight muscles, getting that blood flowing. Then you've got cold, which is your go-to for calming down swelling and inflammation. Both work great, but they do pretty much the exact opposite thing to your body.
And that's where things get interesting. Because yeah, they're great on their own, but the real magic, the real game changer happens when you start combining them.
The whole idea is actually pretty simple. When you switch back and forth between hot and cold really quickly on an injury, you can just dramatically boost your circulation. This whole technique is called contrast therapy, and trust me, it's a super powerful way to speed up healing.
So you're probably wondering, how does that even work? Well, it creates this really cool process that physical therapists call the vascular pump effect. Let's get into what's actually happening under your skin.
Okay, first step, you put on some heat. When you do that, your body does this thing called vasodilation. And don't worry, that's just a sciencey way of saying your blood vessels get wider, they open up, and that lets a whole lot more blood flow into that spot.
And the whole process is, well, it's kind of beautiful in its simplicity. You start with heat, which opens everything up. Then bam, you hit it with cold, and everything tightens up, it constricts. And you just repeat that cycle, open, close, open, close. That back and forth is what creates this incredible pumping action that literally pushes fluid through the area. And that is the key right there. This isn't just some tiny, minor effect. We're talking about actively moving fluid around, flushing out all that inflammation, and pulling in fresh, oxygen-rich blood right where you need it most. It's like giving your body's own healing system a massive turbo boost.
So if this is so amazing, you have to ask, why isn't everybody doing this all the time? Well, the answer is pretty simple, and it comes down to logistics.
Let's be honest, trying to do this at home the old-fashioned way is a total nightmare. You're trying to juggle a dripping hot pack and a leaky ice pack, or you're supposed to stick your ankle in a tub of hot water and then immediately plunge it into a bucket of ice. It's clumsy, it's messy, it's just not practical for most of us. And the other option, fancy saunas and cold plunges, yeah, that's going to cost you a fortune.
But what if it didn't have to be like that? What if you could get all those amazing benefits of the vascular pump, but with none of the mess, none of the expense, none of the hassle? What if the tech finally caught up?
Well, guess what? That technology is finally here. We're talking about a single device that fixes all those problems and makes contrast therapy super easy to do right in your own living room.
It's called the Thermocoop, and its entire purpose is to give you that targeted hot and cold therapy with zero water, zero mess, period.
But here's the really mind-blowing part, the speed. This thing can switch from ice cold to toasty hot in, get this, less than 3 seconds. That incredibly fast switch is the secret sauce that really makes that vascular pump effect work so well.
And hey, for all my fellow nerds watching, here's a little tidbit for you. The basic science behind this isn't new at all. It's based on something called the Peltier effect, which was discovered like 150 years ago. The real breakthrough here is that someone finally figured out how to shrink it down and make it switch that fast in a device you can hold in your hand.
Okay, so that's the science and the tech. Pretty cool, right? Now let's get into the nitty-gritty, the practical stuff that really makes this thing a game changer for recovering at home.
First off, it's super versatile. You can totally just use it as a normal heat pack if you want, or just as a cold pack. It's got 3 settings for each. But the real magic is the automatic contrast mode. You just hit a button and it does the work for you, cycling between hot and cold every 3 minutes completely on its own. And if you look at the specs, it gets plenty hot, up to 107 degrees Fahrenheit. And it gets seriously cold, all the way down to 41 degrees. It just plugs in with a regular USB-C, it shuts off by itself after 15 minutes so you don't overdo it, and hey, you can even use your HSA or FSA card to buy it.
The design itself is actually really smart. The people who made it apparently call it their hot-cold slug, which is hilarious, but it makes sense. It's super flexible, so you can lay it flat on your back, or you can wrap it right around your arm for tennis elbow. It comes with 3 different strap sizes, so it'll fit pretty much anywhere, and that little whirring you hear,
That's a tiny fan inside, which is absolutely crucial for pulling the heat away to get it that cold, that fast.
So, what's the bottom line here? It's pretty simple, really. This kind of advanced, powerful recovery therapy used to be just for pro athletes and physical therapy clinics. Now, it's something that's actually practical, totally clean, and easy enough for any of us to use right at home.
And that really just leaves us with one final thought to chew on. Isn't it wild to think that a physics discovery from 150 years ago could be the key to how we deal with pain and recovery today? It kind of makes you wonder. Maybe the answer to healing better was here the whole time, just waiting for technology to finally catch up and unlock it.